All right, let me hit record and we'll get going here. Well, thanks for taking some time for me this morning here. I appreciate that. How has the last Summer on Earth tour been going so far?
It's been incredible. Uh, Probably one of the best tours we've ever been on
Wow.
in our 32 years as a band. And it's because of the people involved, mainly Ed Robertson and the Bare Naked Ladies are just the greatest guys, I think, out there.
Wow.
And they've been super supportive and respectful of their opening acts. They give us their stage for the time allotted for our sets. That includes Guster and Sugar Ray. Um, and then they invite us out every night to perform their final encore song with them and just include us in everything. That's really amazing. Just the level of comfort, too, on this tour is high. We have catering every day. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a giant crew because they have their own light rig, they have their own PA rig. They're pulling in with a bunch of trucks. Um, and if you need something, somebody's always there on the crew to help. That includes like the production management and all that stuff. Somebody gets hurt, there's somebody to help with that. And also the venues. The venues have been stellar. I mean, if you've heard of Red Rocks in
Oh, yeah.
Colorado and
Mhm.
places like the Greek Theater and Wolf Trap, where we played last night in Virginia, is just unbelievable venues with pretty sold out crowds for the most part. Amazing stuff.
That's awesome.
So I would say that yeah, we've been treated really well, and we've been able to play for a lot of people.
Hmm.
And it actually has been reflecting on like our Spotify streams and Apple Music streams. It's like people are going, oh yeah,
Hey.
you can tell that they're checking out our music again or for the first time, and that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Now, have you ever played with Bare Naked Ladies and Sugar Ray before, or is this the first time?
Uh, yeah, we've played with all the bands. Sugar Ray, we've played with over the decades many times. We've done actual, tours with them headlining, or say with the Gin Blossoms headlining, and then being the first support, and us second support. And Bare Naked Ladies, we were on the Horde tour back
Oh,
in
wow.
1998.
Yeah.
They were, along with Blues Traveler, kind of the headliners of that.
Right.
And so we hadn't seen the Bare Naked Ladies or any of their members for well over 25 years. And uh, it's like we didn't skip a beat. We got on the tour with them, and everybody was old friends again. And
Wow.
it's really incredible. It's feeling very good as far as like you know, there's a lot of meaning in what we do. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It A lot of artists, I bet they tend to forget that when they get a little older and they get, caught up in their own lives with their families and whatnot. Excuse me. I'm sorry. What is your name again?
My name's Greg.
Greg.
Yeah.
I haven't had time. I literally woke up half an hour ago. I'm on the bus here and we just pulled into a hotel. We didn't get out of Vienna till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
So, yeah. Anyway,
wow.
anything you want to ask
You
me?
sure? Absolutely. Well,
Okay.
now you guys just released Sonic Ranch last year, and I got a chance to listen to it. I really like "Rather Be Me Than You" and "America." That's a fantastic song. Do you have a favorite song
Thank you.
on the record?
I like the song, and it's a song I wrote called "Let Love Back in Your Heart,"
Mhm.
and I just think it's a pretty darn good record from front to back.
Absolutely.
One of our best consistency wise, and um, we're really proud of it. I think a lot of it has to do with having a couple of really good producers. John Fields, who produced Rather Be Me Than You, did a great job of helping with some of the tracks that we had recorded with David Garza
Hmm.
already. So we had all kinds of improvements that needed to be made, but David was unavailable. So we were able to throw files up to John Fields in Minneapolis and um, finish the record like that. And,
Wow.
it's just, it took a little while to complete. Now, the tracks themselves, the writing and the actual recording, not so much. It was pretty quick, but then you have all the stuff you want to improve upon. You want to add layers, you want to change words, you want to add a guest guitar player,
Hmm.
things of that nature. It takes time, and
Sure.
then you have to put it all together and then get it manufactured. So it's about a 2 year, really. I don't know. I
Wow.
mean, from very conceptual uh, state to complete grown up record. Yeah.
Now, were you guys in the studio together, or did you record it
Yeah.
separately? So the
Oh
band
yeah.
was in the studio, it was just
Oh,
the production part.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, with technology today, I know a lot of bands are, sharing files and, you'll record
Right.
something at your home studio and send it off or whatever. But
Well, I can say, honestly, we were all the drums that were recorded and the basic tracks, the bass and rhythm guitars and all that stuff, or maybe percussion and piano or whatever. Those were all done with everybody present.
mm,
And then later, when we split off to our own little abodes, a lot of us have studios at our house, so we were able to, fix some vocals and do things like that. But for the most part, yeah, it's a live. I mean, live basic tracks.
sure.
Um, and most of the vocals were recorded with David at Sonic Ranch, which is a amazing studio he likes to work at out in West Texas. And we thought, after a lot of consideration as to what we were going to call the record, early on, we were thinking of just calling it Fastball, like the White Album, the Beatles, they called it the Beatles. And we just decided maybe not. And we had some other ideas, but then um, somebody at the label said, change it to Sonic Ranch. And I'm like, oh, wow. I never thought of that. That's a
Yeah.
perfect idea.
Yeah.
And
Great
so
title. It's a great.
that's what we did. And that's the name of that record now.
There you go. Very good. Now, uh, it's hard to believe that The Way came out, what, 20 over 25 years ago now? Something like
Yeah,
that.
98,
Yeah, 98.
1998.
Do you remember the moment when you realized that it had really taken off? I mean, I remember it being on
I do.
MTV all the time and all that, but what was your experience with that?
Uh, Being in Los Angeles, doing lots of setup work for the record. We were at the label. We were at Hollywood Records at that time, and Hollywood Records is located in the or at that time was located in the Disney
Hmm.
Studios lot of Burbank, California. And I'm on the 134 freeway in traffic at 4:30 p.m. And I grew up in Southern California, so I know all the radio stations and I know all the DJs. And Jed the Fish, rest in peace, he just passed away recently.
Oh, okay.
Jed the Fish was the afternoon drive time DJ, and he announced it. He front announced it, and he played the way, and I was completely blown away. And I look around at all the traffic, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a percentage of these people that are listening to this song right now. And, you know, from that point, I kind of had that feeling of inevitability that it was going to be a big song. And sure enough, it was. And that album was really big for us. And it opened doors and took us around the world. And, you know, we got some awards here and there. We got nominated for a couple of Grammys, and which we didn't win. We didn't win those, but Aerosmith needed it, so
Right.
they got it. They got it. give it to Aerosmith. You know,
Sure. But you got to go,
they
you
need
got
it.
to go to the Grammys.
I did indeed,
Yeah.
and we had a blast. We saw like Ricky Martin do his amazing psychedelic freak out on stage, and Madonna performed, and Alanis Morissette.
Wow.
We got to hang out at the bar with Garbage,
Huh.
and yeah, you know, memorable times for sure. We had, you know, and all those moments back then, you know, to me are they're precious, but they are just blips in time, and they really seem like just little moments. And that's the way life is, it turns out. I think you know what
Sure.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what part of the album feels most personal to you now that it's been 25 years later?
Oh, that second album of
The second
ours?
album, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means, really, that question. I
Well,
mean,
you know,
they're all personal.
yeah,
They're
I get,
all
yeah,
they're all songs we wrote. We recorded them together, and you know, we fought, we we argued, we came together, we worked things out. You know, that's all personal stuff, and you
sure,
know, your egos get in the way sometimes of something that could be great. And if you learn to step back, you know, maybe your producer's right. Um, you know, so I guess that answers your question.
yeah, it does, absolutely, sure, yeah, all of it is personal for sure. Now, you guys have stayed active across the decades, you know, as music has changed with the times or whatever. How has you, or how has your the group maintained, you know, the chemistry together, you know, between you and Miles and Joey?
Well, we first of all, we didn't get famous enough for things to get really weird.
That's good.
That's a theory. That's just a theory that I have. But I mean, come on, you know, all the big bands that really they get rid of personnel constantly. They got new people coming in. You know, how many guitar players have the Red Hot Chili Peppers had, and how many,
Right.
you know, it just that stuff happens, and I think Green Day is a good testament to like just sticking together and not maybe not taking the career so seriously um, up front, and maybe up front making sure that you have good relationship with the guys you work with. And you know, we don't get up in each other's faces so much because you know, when we're home. We all live about 30 miles apart from each other. We all have families. We don't really see each other often, just to get together. A lot of times when we're working on new music, before we even get into a rehearsal studio to like work out new songs, we're throwing ideas at each other from, um, you know, Dropbox files,
Hmm.
and that's how we do that. And then, you know, we're just and we're on the when we're on the road, we have a certain set of, you know, unwritten rules that we just sort of follow. I mean, I can't really explain it, but you just sort of you stay out of each other's way, but then you know how to talk when it's time to talk. And you know, don't get too carried away with your own agenda and try to be concerned about everybody else. And you go far that way, and you become more than colleagues. You become brothers, or you know, sisters in some cases, and that's worked very well for us. And
Yeah,
we love each other, and we're brothers. And you know what? I'm going to have to do something really quick. I'm going to have to read you something because this is where we're at right now. Okay.
sure.
This is crucial to what you're wanting to know about. And um, it's crucial to what's going on. Um, and this is from Miles today. To our fans, we wanted to let you know that our drummer, Joey Sheffield, is currently in the hospital dealing with a medical issue. He's in good hands, and we're optimistic about his recovery. But unfortunately, he won't be able to join us for the remainder
Hmm.
of the upcoming shows on the tour with Bare Naked Ladies. Joey is in a huge part of what makes Fastball Fastball. And while no one can truly replace him, Dean Butterworth from Sugar Ray has graciously agreed to fill in so the show can go on. We know this isn't ideal, but your support means the world to us and to Joey. Please send him all your good vibes, and I will add prayers because that's what the Sheffields want. So if you're the praying kind, throw them up, please,
Absolutely.
and we'll keep you updated as we know more. Thanks for sticking with us, and see you out there.
Wow.
So I know you're. I could tell by the way that this interview was, um, that this interview commenced, that you were unaware of this.
Yeah, right. I
So
was.
so I just wanted to throw that out. We're going to have to be using that script from here on out a little bit,
Sure.
and so there you go. That's what's happening here, and
Okay.
without the help of the people on this tour, I don't know if Joey would be okay today because he had to be taken to a very small town hospital in Laconia, New Hampshire, and things got worse there. And there's not really the adequate services that you can get like farther um, away in Boston. So he got transferred to a hospital in Boston. And he's doing much better now, and
Oh,
his
good.
wife has shown up, and it's been really nerve wracking the last 3 days, but we're getting it. We're making it work, and without the help of these people, Bare Naked Ladies, Sugar Ray, and
Mhm.
all the crew, we wouldn't be able to stay on this tour, let alone help Joey in the proper way.
Right.
So my eternal thanks to Bare Naked Ladies and Sugar Ray and
Sure.
everybody surrounding them.
Yeah, they say it's like a when you're on tour and you're just exemplifying that you are like a family. I mean, Sugar Ray's drummer stepping up, and wow, that's amazing. That's really, really something that you guys.
I would say optimally you're like a family. It's not the case all the time. It's just
Right.
not. Let's say this. I mean, this is a business of egos, and those things get in the way of stuff. Those guys in Bare Naked Ladies, they're like their egos secondary to their humanity.
That's awesome. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. And again, I'm sorry, I was unaware of that. Yeah, I had no idea. And prayers to Joey for sure, 100%.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Huh.
So if you want to go back to some music stuff, that's fine. If you feel like you got enough, we're good too.
I got a couple more questions here for you, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
I do not mind. Fine. Very
Okay.
fine.
I know. I'm sure your headspace is somewhere else, and I kind of.
Well, that's what helps me is all these tasks I have to do, and I've got a bunch of logistical stuff I have to do today to, you know, some of the stuff that Joey's responsible for is not just playing the drums. I mean, he's also very active and almost like a tour manager would be. Joey has been for years and years, and we've depended on him. So now we have to sort of like you know pick up the ball and run with it ourselves. And
Right.
so go ahead.
Okay. I got a couple more for you. Well, um, so after all these years in the industry, what still excites you about writing and recording and performing new music still today?
Well, I mean, if someone's an artist and someone's a songwriter or a creator of art, um, they'll have a hard time telling you what it is, what it is that makes it exciting. All I can say is that it is. I mean, it's something that starts with nothing, or just a little tiny element, and you build around that. Maybe a thought, maybe a dream, maybe something comes into your head, maybe a musical melody, maybe a beat. There's so many aspects to musical art that, and I will continue to call it art. I don't care
Oh,
if
yeah.
people think we're just a pop band that makes catchy tunes with catchy lyrics. I mean, it's art, and we are artists, and we work very hard on it. And I love the sort of contemplation you can get into when a song is being created, and you almost sort of think, what is the inspiration behind this? Did I come up with this, or was I gifted by some kind of thought that popped into my head
Hmm.
from, some other entity? Who knows? But you think about these things, you really do. And I say this because a song like The Way, and I remember it very vividly, was it came from a moment of frustration at not being able to come up with any real ideas for some. I wanted to write a song. Whoa, you sit down, you go, I'm going to write a song. Well, you don't really, nothing's going to happen if you're doing that. I really don't think anything really happens
Hmm.
unless you have some kind of inspiration behind it. And so I got on the phone with a guy from our label, Rob Seidenberg, who was working our record. And I said, hey, I know we got to come up with songs for the second album, but I mean, I'm having a hard time. I don't know what to write about. And he said, well, the Beatles, they did Day in the Life from looking at newspaper articles. And I just sort of went like that. I went, and I'm like, okay. And I see this missing couple for missing for a week now or something like that. And I was like, I read a little bit and I didn't read it really intensely, but I realized they were an elderly couple and all their adult children and their family, their extended family, they were all on the hunt for them. And they were able to get their story on the news. And we learned about the the details of everything a little bit later, but I jumped on that as a subject right away.
Hmm.
And I started in with, they made up their minds, they started packing because I had this idea that maybe they were going to go, you know, kind of throw down some of their responsibilities that they were used to after a half a century of raising children and a family. And they were on a little road trip. They were only supposed to go a couple of hours, but they ended up way, way far, like 500 miles. And they had actually crashed. And it took a few days for some kid found their car at the bottom of a really wooded ravine. And, it's very sad, and especially for that family. But, you know, for some reason, it produced this song. And I'll tell you what, that family was aware of this song.
Hmm.
And I actually got to meet some of the family members. I met a son and a daughter of that couple, and by the way, were already in their 60s
Wow.
when I met them about 15 years ago. And I had breakfast with them, and we chatted, and then I drove the daughter back to her house about 10 miles from where we had met, and that's the last I ever saw of them. And I'm sure they were grateful for never having to see me again. And it's all good, but the fact is there was a film student involved in getting us together, and
Hmm.
he wanted to make some kind of documentary about the whole thing, the whole subject, the song, the people, the incident, the media coverage. And so it was kind of weird for them to talk to me and meet me, and we're eating breakfast at a diner, and then he's got the camera
Hmm.
on him. It's uncomfortable for me, let alone these people from Central Texas,
Right.
from a rural small town.
Wow.
So kind of surreal. Excuse me, still getting up. kind of a surreal experience, definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
that whole song has surrealism, it's sort of wrapped up in surrealism,
right.
even though it's a true story.
Hmm. Very cool. All right. I got a question here for you about since I'm Cleveland based and you guys are going to be playing Cleveland in the towards the end of August. You guys have been around here quite a bit. I think I saw you at the Kent stage. If you remember that show a few years ago. Do you have any memories of playing in Northeast Ohio or the Cleveland area?
Sure, sure, many memories actually. Um, we've had some great times since the very beginning of our band and cruising around in a van. Um, and even recently we were up in Cleveland. It's funny because I'm actually I'm at a hotel right now in the parking lot. We just rolled in. I'm in Elyria right now as we speak.
You really?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
it's crazy. It's because we're halfway to Goshen, Indiana, or Goshen,
Gosh,
Indiana,
yeah, yeah.
where we're playing tomorrow. So this is where our bus has to rest. So we're going to stay here for maybe 12 hours and then take off to the
Wow.
gig tomorrow. Yeah, weird, right?
That is weird.
I
That is
love
very strange.
a couple of years ago, Miles and I were doing a couple shows with the Fix, and it was just us acoustic, me and Miles acoustic. We were opening up for the Fix, and we got invited to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to go and check it out. We got the full on, the passes and enjoyed ourselves there. And we used to play down in the flats and made a lot of friends down here. I have a couple of friends who live here now, and I'm probably going to ring them up and hopefully get some dinner with them. Um, that'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a Ohio's an historic place for rock and roll. I mean,
Mhm.
geez, the Dead Boys and the Rubber City Rebels. You remember them? Do you remember? And Chrissy Hine.
Especially high in Akron,
And
right?
I mean, come on, Devo. Uh,
Joe Walsh.
I did not realize he's actually from Ohio, but thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
always,
yo, the
I always
James Gang,
think,
Cleveland. That's him. Yeah.
yeah, I always think of him as being from like Catalina Island or something. No, uh, but yeah, we love it here, and I dig the vibe. I think it's sort of halfway. It's like halfway between the East and the Midwest, and I think there's a lot of hard folks out here who like to party, and rock and roll is still alive. I can see by your wall that you
Oh,
have
yeah.
some of my favorite records, and one of them is Aerosmith Rocks.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
love that record.
Yes.
I love that record.
That's the best record, I think. Toys in the Attic's up there too, but yeah, I love Rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
think they
sure.
really nailed it though with Rocks. It's
I
it's
do.
got this more it's less radio friendly, I think, and it's more like this more like the like when Led Zeppelin did Physical Graffiti. I think
Mhm.
they have this sort of we're gonna get serious with our rock and roll now. Um, yeah.
Right.
I like that 1984 record. I
Yeah.
bought a copy of that on vinyl, a reissue for my son,
Hmm.
who's 13. And I go, put these headphones on, and he's listening to Hot for Teacher, and he's just
Oh,
like, just blown away.
that's
It's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah.
Very good. Well, we got the same taste in music. Awesome. All right, last question here, and I'll let you go. What can fans expect from this tour that you're on, and especially when you play at Blossom Music Center at the end of
Right.
August?
Well, as I read just recently
Hmm.
from Miles, they can expect to see us working it out with a substitute drummer who's actually a brilliant drummer named Dean Butterworth. And Dean's played with a bunch of bands, and we met Dean back in 1998 when he was playing for Ben Harper. and he's also been in Good Charlotte and a bunch of other bands. He was a musical director on a on a television show for a little while with is Jane Lynch, is that her name?
Mhm.
She had a game show kind of, and he was the musical director on that. Anyway, Dean's fully capable of backing us as a drummer, and we're also able to employ some of the members of Bare Naked Ladies for a few songs, and they help us out. And um, um, I think going in, if people realize that our main anchor and fulcrum is not with us, um, that they'll enjoy a good show with good songs, and they'll be performed in a manner that we are okay with, and hopefully they'll be okay with.
I'm sure they will. Absolutely. All right, Tony. Again, thank you so much for your time. Safe travels on the road, and I will be seeing you in August.
All right, Greg.
All right.
Thank you. You know what? You know what? You look and resemble like one of my favorite Gregs in the world, and that's Greg Popovich from the Spurs.
Okay. How about that? I've never been told
Yeah.
that, but I'll take it.
Well, yeah, it's great, and it's nice to talk to you. So I feel like I'm talking to Pop,
Yeah.
and you put me at ease right away. So
Very
you
good.
have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you out there at Cuyahoga Falls.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoy your time in Elaria.
Thank you. Yeah, woohoo!
Woohoo. All
Going to
right.
the Red Lobster.
All
All right.
right. All
See
right.
you
We'll see
later,
you.
man.
Thanks,
Okay,
man.
take care.
Bye bye.